Yes.
Hey, awesome.
But just you wait, Sonny.
That's not our.
You'll be doing the same thing.
I remember. Oh, I know, I am already.
Nice meeting like this.
Well, we're going to go ahead and start, and we can get stragglers in if anybody else decides. 37 years with the Salish Kootenai tribe as their fire department, and he's now on the board of directors for FireSafe.org. And I really appreciate him coming over from Polson and volunteering his time to do this.
Thank you, Liz. Yes, I'd like to say good evening to everybody on this beautiful evening, and really appreciate your interest. It's a very important subject, and it was a big part of my career. I worked for the Forest Service starting in the early 70s while I was going to college, and then got a job with the Bureau of Indian Affairs, which later taken over by the tribal organization. So 37 years working in forestry and prescribed fire. I was a prescribed fire officer for quite a number of years, and even the fire management officer there towards the end of my career. There's a lot of organizations in Montana. Things have changed over the last 10 or 20 years. I think the whole emphasis has been on assisting interested homeowners in information on how to best make their home defensible against wildland fire. I know it's kind of periodic, but over the last 15 years, we're getting more fires, we're getting hotter weather. Our fire season is expanding. It starts earlier in the spring. It goes clear in October, even November a little bit with high fire danger. And we are at risk because we have our homes that are in the forest, or they're out there surrounded by agricultural lands, which are a risk in the fall. And it's random things like lightning or accidental starts. Like this last weekend, we had 20-some fires, accidental starts from railroad trains. It just shows you how dry things have become. We had one of the wettest winters and wettest springs. We thought we were really sitting up good, and then just turned the tap off. And some areas on the reservation here in our neighborhoods, they're ready to burn. We haven't seen rain since June 8th in a lot of cases. So, we keep that period there. Just time to keep your heads up. But today's program, I'm from FireSafe Montana. It's something I joined the organization after my retirement about a year ago. Do similar things that the Department of Natural Resources or the state DNRC does, and the Forest Service. There's a lot of organizations out there, but ours is one that kind of focuses in on the system and the things you need to look at, how you assess your danger for your house and your outbuildings from burning, and what you can do starting tomorrow morning to really help make your home defensible, make it a place where firefighters would be safe if they were there to defend it. And we'll talk a little bit, it doesn't cost very much, and this system approach, it may be valuable in that you make your place survivable. The fires are getting so hot and growing so quickly that sometimes firefighters can't get in there. They have to wait until the fire passes. Some of these things that we're going to talk about may make your home survivable. You can do all the work. You can turn on the pump or the water sprinkler, and you can leave and let the fire pass, and your home would have a good chance in most cases, not all cases, in surviving. So I've got a PowerPoint for about half an hour or so, and then we can take questions and we can talk about the publication. course, my introduction went a little bit too long. I gotta figure out how to get back into the, right. Sorry, I'll have to cue it up again. No, actually, Ed LeBear, I believe, was the person you talked to, Liz. Said you had an interest for the community through the library board, through the town council, or whatever, and some interest. Well, I got a day that's approaching 100 today, and like talking about how our firing season is very, very timely. Sudden. Okay, can everybody see the slideshow? Okay. Okay. FireSafe Montana, like I said, it's been an organization that was created in 2006. It was an ad hoc group at that time, agency people, home builders, the state of Montana Department of Labor. You know, it's an organization that probably has 50 or 60 representatives at this time. But what the emphasis is, we get funded by Homeland Security, or the Fire Emergency, or the FEMA organization, Homeland Security, to distribute educational material, to go out and give presentations. These handouts we have are ones that we developed and created to get distributed to the folks. And I guess our mission is to get the word out there that as a homeowner and living in the urban interface or the intermix, that you have a responsibility to do some work to defend your home. There are programs that will help you do maybe some fields mitigation. There are professional people from all these federal and state and tribal organizations that will come out and visit with you and do an assessment. Those things are readily available. And they'd be ready, you could call somebody tomorrow and get started on the whole process. But it's just how you could work with a home, and maybe you have to do retrofit work, or maybe you're building a new home. And you want to do it right from the start. Use the right building materials, do the right thinning, put the lawn in the right place, do those type of things that we're talking about. Take care of it. The wood, wildland urban interface, that's the area where human-built structures and infrastructure, barns and outbuildings we call them, abut or mix with naturally occurring vegetation types. But most of the time we talk about the local trees or vegetation that's around us, but you also talk about highly volatile sagebrush fuels, especially here in the Mid-Valley here. You get towards the height of the summer, and especially in the early fall, there's volatile oils in the sagebrush. It gets dried out to a point where it's just, you know, then the flames can be 15, 20 feet high in a brush tank. Or we talked about just the regular grass and the grass, especially when the wind is blowing the fire. It's a wind-driven fire, and just the grass fire can endanger your home. We choose to build out of town, have our little bit of forest, or have our solitude, some isolation, and it's our choice, it's our land, and it is a good place to live there, but you have responsibilities to yourself and to your neighbors too, if there are some dangers out there, to do the proper work. This map kind of washes out. This map is from the state of Montana, an effort they did several years ago. It shows where the urban interface is. It's kind of the brown colors scattered through, and then the red ones with the red highlights are more volatile fuels or heavier fuels, and it's probably a higher danger. You can see up in northwest Montana at Sanders Lake, Mineral County, it's mostly in the valleys or in the forest that's abutting the valleys, and we're building in the urban interface more and more, and it continues to be a big problem. So we can all work on it collectively. Since 2015, in the last 2 years, the statistics are common in showing that we continue to choose to build new homes in the wildland interface. And actually, 72% of the building permits in the last, in 2015, are following that same trend. They're choosing to build in these areas that can be very volatile, can burn very severely when we have high fire danger. Oh, and by the way, the east side of the reservation, we keep these indices on what the fire danger is. We start in April, and then we track the weather, and then we follow a chart. And we're up to very high fire danger on the east side, and we're up to very high to extreme on the western side, which is typical, because this is very dry. This is a little desert area here. One of the driest and hottest places in the state is down at Perma for the hot, and up at Lone Pine for the dryness. It's very surprising. It's got a little desert condition. Montana has one of the most severe wildland fire problems in the country because of this issue of people building in the wildland areas. Our population centers are in wooded areas, our bigger towns, Billings, Bozeman, Missoula are in these forest zones, these dry open valleys. And the vegetation, we've excluded fire professionally, and we have a lot of fuels to build up. That's been a decision that the federal government has made, and we're trying to catch up with it now. In some areas we should have had 5, 6, 7 fires over the last century that cleared the brush out, and those fires didn't happen, so all those fields kept building and building. And then when we do get a large fire, like we get almost every summer now, it burns rapidly, it burns with great severity and with greater danger to our fire. Topography, we have steep ground, we have a lot of chimneys, narrow ravines that funnels the wind, forces the fire to accelerate speed. You got a really heads-up situation. And I don't know if you buy into climate variability, whether we're going through a cycle of warmer weather, or whether you believe that science is saying that human effects is changing the local climate for us, and that over the next half century we could have greater temperatures, a lot more fires, a lot bigger fires. Either way, we're in a serious situation right now with climate overlaying everything else that we have to work with. Fire isn't a matter of if, wildland fire is a matter of when. It could happen and affect you and your home. Between 2000 and 2014, Montana wildfires burned over 5 million acres. Last year was one of our slower years. We only burned 200,000. But our average is well, approaching 2 million. And I think we burned almost 3 million acres back in 2007 because of all that. Over that 14-year period, there were 1,400 homes in the state. And, you know, it kind of sneaks up on me. You know, we had the Roaring Lion fire last year west of Hamilton, and they burned 15 homes. But you get a dozen homes here, you get 2 dozen homes down in Billings. 2012, we got over 50 homes down at Lame Deer on the Northern Cheyenne Indian Reservation. You know, it's all parts of the state that share in these losses, these risks that we're up against. And the losses continue to increase. We have a lot of success. We don't talk about the 20, 50,000 homes that were saved, but we do have the 1,100 homes that were lost. And the cost of the firefighting over that period is what's really changing the way that we fight fire. It cost $1.2 billion over a 15-year period. Now nationally, it's wildland fire stretches or puts a big stretch on our federal budget. We're spending $2 to $3 billion per year on average. You know, it's starting to break the whole system. And we can't pay for the firefighters. We don't have enough firefighters. And, it gets more expensive for the aircraft. I know they've got responsibilities to save homes, but they're breaking the bank with the seriousness of the situation. Local conditions. This is a picture over by Helena. I don't know if you drove over there 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah.
Your head is, you're just standing
Oh,
in the
yeah.
middle of the screen. I wonder if you could step to the left or something while you're talking.
It's wild.
There we are.
It's moving.
They had pine beetles go through. It's a natural process. It goes through every 30 or 40 years in parts of the forest in Montana, and it kills pine trees. And if you drove over Rogers Pass or over McDonald Pass over Helena 5, 6 years ago, the pine beetles, the whole hillside wasn't green, it was red. And you drive through there now and it's all gray. It's standing dead trees. So part of the natural process is get increased fire damage. Local conditions is really driving the potential for the destructive fire. People choose to build homes within or near wildland areas, and it's a nice green, lush, very beautiful wilderness, and pine beetle comes through and it's just a standing open forest environment. It's you know, just there's great potential for burning. These areas are often covered with flammable native vegetation. Maybe desirable for some and considered natural, but with some of these areas, because of fire exclusion, because of the fuels buildup, they're anything but natural. They're unnatural, high danger areas in a lot of cases. Montana is blessed with a beautiful mountain scene. Wilderness, it's got primitive area, recreation, it's got national parks. Forests are very predominant, like the wide valleys that we have here on Bitterroot, Mission Valley, over here in the Hot Springs Valley are quite common and very desirable place to live. But fire danger exists in this environment as well, and it goes hand in hand. Talked about spot fires, firebrands, and embers. There's several ways that the heat of a fire is transferred. you've got the fire burning on the ground intensively, and it's getting bigger, and you've got the trees, so it goes from the brush, and it follows a ladder of fuels, higher brush, up into the tree. And when you create all of that heat, it has to transfer. The heat has to transfer. It uses several methods. The most common one is convection. That means that heat, and you get an indraft of of oxygen to feed the fire, and it goes up, it convects up like a chimney situation. It's a very rapid process, but you've got a lot of unburned material and embers in that fire, and it gets swept up in this convection, and it's carried high to the ground, and it spreads out, and spreads these embers into unburned fuel hotspots. And if you have a high gusty winds up above, I've been on some fires where the convection carries the partially burned material up, high winds catch it and carry it over a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile forward or ahead of the fire front. And it really plays into the rapid increased size. So the unburned material is lifted into a convective column, settles on homes and vegetation far ahead of the fire. Wind, like I described, plays into this. And it transfers heat, it transfers the embers, it gets swept up in the general winds or the gusty winds or the winds that are coming out of the thunderstorm that might be affecting and carrying spot fires well ahead, considerable distances, long-range spot. I guess we need to talk about why does one home survive and the next one doesn't. You can see this one home, it's basically the same fuels. I don't know what the material was of the home that burned in the foreground, but in the background, that home survived for a variety of reasons. Probably work that was done, defensible space. There is some randomness to it, but really it's the work that you can put into your home to make it defensible or survivable is the principle. The home that survived, more preparedness work. The homeowner may have taken the time to spend a little bit of money to prepare his home for a summer fire. May have went out and cleaned out the yard. He may have had a vehicle parked next to the house and moved that safely away. You know, anything that might catch these fire ants and things like that. He may have done some work on the shoulder seasons outside of the fire season. You know, he might have changed his rotten spots on his deck and put good wood and painted them up and cleaned out underneath the deck. You know, those are a lot of those things that we're talking about with this preparedness. That's one thing that may have made that home survive. Topography, you know, sometimes it depends on the way the fire presents itself, whether it's from a downhill position that's coming up a steep slope, or whether it's above you and just slowly creeping down. You know, it depends on where the fire occurred and how things are aligning, how the fire started and how that aligns with a steep slope or a mild slope, or how the winds may come in and follow up a chimney into a saddle, which would be a high-risk situation. If the home was in a more flat area, as part of that choosing your location, it can make a significant difference on your home survival. And higher ignition resistance standards. The one handout is the ignition standard book there that FireSafe Montana produces with the Department of Labor. A new home, or if you're looking to retrofit problems in your home for this defensible space, you can use higher standard fire resistant material. And some luck. There's certainly luck involved with fire. Homes ignite from direct flame contact. That means that the flame comes along on the ground. You may not have had a nice green lawn around your home, so it comes up in a brown, dried out situation, and it burns right to the side of the home and burns up the deck and then destroys the home or burns the siding or something like that. That's direct contact is one method of home ignition. Radiation. We talked about the ignition zone. If you do a good job within the first 100 feet with a green lawn and fire-resistant plants and not having dead trees within that area and thinning your trees out, your house can survive. If the fire burns within 100 feet, your house can still survive the direct radiating heat from the fire. And a lot of the homes down there at the Roaring Line Fire last year in the Bitterroot burned from direct contact because they didn't clean up all the litter. But a lot of them survived a lot of the radiating heat that crown fire. Ignites from embers as well. Okay, this is a fire that was down in the Big Timber area down by Columbus, Billings, Montana. 2004, we lost 60 homes on that fire. And I could point out that you can see where the main home burned, but the garage off of the pavement there and other portions survived. There was a huge green lawn on both sides, but in that top corner there was a little bunch of trees there. And I don't know whether it was embers that got in the trees that crowned out and got into a pile of firewood on the edge of the home, or whether there was an old vehicle there that started fire, and then the vehicle fire started the house fire. It looks like they had a weak spot up in that top side. They were taking care of that little corner, everything else was covered. And their home should have survived, except for that one little corner that might have been neglected, or they didn't see something as a potential there. And that's part of that system of trying to make your house look fancy. This was a good one here. The whole place survived. You didn't have to have a real big lawn around there. Not many trees. You had deck, you had concrete, you had things like that around the house so that the embers could start a fire right next to the house and start the fire right on. Kind of a poor picture. It's a house in the middle of a meadow. Must have got a ember storm. Must have come over and caught on a shingle roof or something. Or got caught in dirty gutters. Pretty numb. Now, survivable space under FireSafe Montana, and you asked for FireWise. Got a handout on living with fire. There's fire adapted communities. There's enough is enough campaigns. There's ready, set, go. If you go out there and Google, you're going to find dozens upon dozens of different programs. But you know, all of them follow a systems approach to get the proper work. Most highly probable to survive. This is a borrowed one, yeah. I would say that this bunker on the coast of Normandy is probably something that could survive, but it's certainly not something that we do or we call a home. We do have many methods that can be highly effective. Least likely to survive. Can you see a house that's completely surrounded by vegetation? It's got ponderosa pine branches over the trees. It's got a cedar-shaped roof that's covered with pine needles. The gutters are full. This is downtown Helen here. Well, this could be downtown Hot Springs. I forgot to mention that when you're talking about urban interface, that means you have homes that are built within or next to vegetation. The only urban interface areas on the reservation are Jocko Valley east of Arlee, Evero, and the town of Hot Springs. You have the forest to the west of you that comes straight into town and through town. It's not the case in Polson, but it is with the areas around the lake. Not the case in Ronan, Maple Valley. This work doesn't mean it has to be out of town. You may have some work that needs to be done in town for the possibility. We evacuated Camas Prairie 3 times from 1994 to 2000, 6-year period. We had the Henry Peak Fire came over from Forest Service. The Boyer Fire came over from the Plains, and the Clear Creek Fire above Burma burned on the reservation for 35,000. We had the Chippy Creek Fire just 10 years ago, 100,000 acres. It made a 15-mile run in 2 days to get onto the reservation. It was 100,000 acres, and we had to evacuate all those folks around Hubbard Reservoir for quite an extended period of time. That was the largest fire we had in Montana since 1935. This is your neighborhood. And, we're kind of a catcher's mitt for the forest down back behind us. So just a heads up. But this house wouldn't survive if you got even a halfway moderate fire. This is an example of a survivable home. One of our members of FireSafe Montana, half a mile out of Helena. Engineer, he retired, and he went and researched through FireSafe Montana. He built this home that's made out of rock and stucco. There's no wood, there's metal trim on it. He's got a very nice home there, and I guess his garage is even better. Instead of building right in the timber, he built right on the fringe. He only had to do some light thinning on it. And you can't see it by the picture, but it's got fire-resistant plants, that hold moisture, like aspen holds a lot of moisture. It's very good if you're going to put trees around your home. Get deciduous trees, especially like poplar and aspen, things like that. But he did have a very dangerous tree, and that's a juniper. You don't want a juniper within 100 feet of your home. And it burns like a Roman candle. I don't know how many homes I've seen lost because, it's a small group of trees. Survivable space. Location, location, location. If you're building a new home, stay out of the saddles, stay out of the chimneys, steep chimneys. Try to look for a flat area. Don't build at the very top of the very steepest situations. There's also the worst critical conditions of fire risk. And if you already have a home, there may be a problem, then do the extra work, the fuels work, the fuels mitigation, the thinning, the piling, burning the piles, to help make your location a better situation. Mitigation, mitigation, mitigation. Ed LaBerre, who you talked to, Liz, he's one of many programs in western Montana that have money available. If you contact them, they'll come out, they'll do an assessment on your home, they'll make recommendations on the thinning or mitigations, and the mitigations of changing your landscape plans, things like that. And in some cases they have money available where they can do a cost share match. Like up in Lincoln County, I think they'll pay for 75%. Homeowner pays for 25%. It's really costly. Lake County doesn't have a program. Sanders County, does have a program. It actually has a program where they'll treat up to 2 or 3 acres, and it's the landowner pays 10%. The county will pay 90%. It's a short window, but if you're interested, now is a good time to talk to your folks in Mineral County and Sanders County, because there are opportunities to get some good assistance. Move by profession.
When you say they will treat up to 2 or 3 acres, what do they use to treat it? You need to treat something, use some kind of retardant or chainsaw?
Be chainsaw to thin the smaller trees out or separate trees in the clump. If you've got larger trees, they could get you connected with a state extension forester and maybe have a small timber sale. They'll help you with the contract on that or get you in contact with bonded contractors that specialize in that type of work. There's a lot of assistance there, and they're certainly patient and spend the time to explain the program and help where they can.
Did you mention the name of the one in Sanders?
Yeah, at the end of the phone numbers out, because Bill Nagley is the emergency operations management representative. Okay, this is a picture just out of Polson. That's your urban interface. Look at how heavy and dense those trees are. And what do we got? 30 mailboxes there? Yeah. We got something there. It's something that certainly gets the attention of people that are encouraging or promoting fuels work, and the fire chief and the firefighter. That mitigation work, because we haven't had fire here, a lot of the Doug firs coming in underneath Ponderosa supplying. Things are getting very dense, and the fire potential is getting greater and greater with each year. Go in there with thinning people, we do some separation. We leave Ponderosa pine trees preferably. We take out Doug fir because they're more flashy fuel. We'll pile things up. And that's some other places out in Rockport. They followed all of these defensible space, survival space principles. Still have a nice forest. It's not wilderness, but it's a good, pleasant forest situation that can be defended. Ignition-resistant materials and systems. And if you do the work and if you made the investment, you need to do the maintenance for the rest of the time. They'll help you with this cost share money, but then it's you as the landowner that has a responsibility to take care of things. Slopes and chimneys, you don't want the home in the saddle or a chimney at the top of the slope. Or slope with ladder fuels that goes into a crown fire. These are considered dangerous areas. If you're looking to build a new home, you really should look at avoiding those situations. If you are in those situations, do what mitigation work you can. Change some of your building materials. You can consider that and try to mitigate that. We're thinking in terms of zones around the home, starting from the home going out in certain distance. Zone 1 is that primary space adjacent to your home. It's called the ignition zone. You want to use fire-resistant plants here. You want to keep a green lawn through the course of the fire season in there. You want to put those aspen trees in there, rose bushes, that ignition zone, that white one there. It's got 2 pages of natural, Montana natural grasses and brush and trees that are resistant because they hold more moisture and don't burn as readily. secondary buffer zone is in zone 2. And then in that zone 2, you want to do some of that separation of the trees. Thin it out so you don't have a crown fire situation where the fire can go from the crown of one tree to the other crown under high wind. And in the outer transition zone, you can leave a lot more trees out there. Just make sure that you keep that area healthy by cleaning up any dead trees or down trees that you may have. And in the fourth zone, just push some openings in there to try to keep it more open. There's some other things following the system approach. Once you've done your work, have proper identification, have a ready, set, go program, have your road signs up, have your house number up, so that the firefighters can follow you. If you do have a hydrant, make sure that it's cleared out and readily available. Make sure that the fire department ensures that the hydrant can work. That your water system works is all, and that you have good access. Access is always important. It's extremely important and often overlooked. If you're building a new home, make sure that your road is built to a standard that big fire engines that protect homes can easily come into your home area. That the switchbacks are big enough and proper enough to meet certain specifications, and that firefighting trucks can get in there and also get out quickly or easily if they need to. Keep roadways free from overhang vegetation, fence posts, and signage that's not needed. Foot wide right away. You communicate to that also. Special considerations. The Ready, Set, Go program talks about doing the work and getting ready to go, and that means putting all your valuable materials and pictures and keepsakes in boxes so that if there is an evacuation to happen suddenly, all you got to do is you'll know where everything is, you go in and get it. Set means that you pay attention to the local situation, that you know what the weather is, whether you have a red flag warning for high firing, you listen to any special notices from the local fire authority. And then the third principle of Ready, Set, Go is that you have everything lined up and done beforehand, and if they call for evacuation, you go to your vehicle, stuff's packed already, and you go. City. Just some pictures we've seen of some ugly situations. If you got gutters and fine rows of pine trees, Doug fir trees, you're going to need to clean your gutters a couple times a year because the hammers right straight into that. And then right straight into the roof. Your house is down to just a stark basement after half an hour. That correct flame contact is a particular hazard because the homeowner didn't clean up underneath the staircase or up against the wall. They let all that duff and litter stay there. Fire happens so quick, you don't have time to go rake things out. Do it before the fire season, before the fire gets in. Or if you have a hot fire, you go home tomorrow and you start cleaning it. It doesn't cost anything, it just takes a little time. Vents are important. Some of the older homes are built with these roof vents, but you have to have the screening has to be 1/8 of an inch in size. some of the older ones are bigger sizes. And a lot of those embers, a lot of houses burned down. Where everything was good except for the embers that got in through that screen. And you can retrofit that by just simply getting the old screening down to the proper standard. It was really pretty. Nice log home, log staircase. And it got one of the most common ember catchers around is firewood that's stacked against the home. You go to these pamphlets where you Google the whole process. Your firewood should be in a little separate shed, or it should be stacked at least 50 feet away from the home in all cases. But that's a lot of work in that, pretty deep design. Deck furniture, another hammer catcher. Watch it. And even the welcome mats there, houses that burned down for just hammers that were caught in the welcome. Getting pretty close to the end. They followed with the Class A materials. They've got the fiberglass roof. They've got the composite 30-year siding on there. They've got the triple pane glass. There's some old sliding glass doors that are double pane, and the radiated heat from the fire was 80 yards away, and it was so hot that the heat went through the old sliding glass windows and went up to a building standard and caught the drapes on fire and burned the house from the inside. We've got cases on that. And they've got it. They've got the deck closed off and cleaned up with the green lines. So fire escaping, keep your area green. Use low brush. Use fire-resistant plants. Use non-combustible mulch. Use small gravel or river gravel or whatever instead of the wood chips or those type of things. Avoid evergreens, spruce trees or duck fir near the structure, and keep wood fencing away from those structures or flooding structures. And final comments. With the interest and with the resources that are out there, you can go through and you can, without great cost in most cases, prepare your home to survive a fire. You can do the work good enough that if the fire's approaching on a 2-mile wide front, like Chippy Creek did, that you can turn on your sprinklers around the house or just the sprinklers in your yard, and you can get in your car and you drive away, and after the fire goes through, you can come back, and there is a chance that your house survives without firefighting. You can't depend that there's going to be a firefighter around every home or even your home under that chaotic fire defense situation. Assemble an evacuation kit. Work as a community or neighborhood where you can. Pool your resources. Do it as a community effort. It's collaborative. You may be able to get community grants. You may be able to do extra work. You may be able to do work to clean up vacant lots. There's a lot of things they can do with the power of collaboration, especially driven by leaders in the community. The champions of the community can make a big difference. Pets and livestock, take care of them. Know your fire emergency call systems. Evacuate early, don't wait till the last moment. Make sure you have the signage and accessibility taken care of. You get a lot of peace of mind if you really put some extra work in the shoulder seasons or start. So that's pretty much what FireSafe Montana has to share with you or talk about. There's some internet sites You can Google and find several of these. Great information for the local area, for the Red Cross. FireSafe Montana, we've got lots of copies. There you go.
One more for Linda. She was doing that.
Okay.
Oh, she just said that. She did that.
I have a question about, in town here, there's, people have propane. What kind of, what does that look like? How does the propane tank behave if it gets too hot, or is that much of a, you know?
Well, they're built with a safety valve because they do burn. But sometimes the safety valves malfunction, so it can be a danger, but you can be a lot farther ahead of it by keeping the vegetation clear.
In case there's a fire coming and you do have gas, should you go out and turn off the gas before you evacuate if you have to evacuate?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, the fixtures into the house too. If you have any plastic or rubber.
Yeah,
fittings
there's a
made
fixture in the main line that you can shut off.
Do they still do CERT in Montana? CERT.
Do what?
CERT. Do they still have CERT teams in Montana?
CERT teams.
Community Emergency Response Teams. Do they still do that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, out of the bigger communities. I would think that would be part of the response, but that those teams would have to come out of Missoula or Calcasieu. And certainly don't have that capability in Polson or Minnesota.
Any requirement when you're going for a building permit for issue?
Well, the county, each county has a little bit different on their specs. A lot are common, but a lot, on the details. I think if you live out of the city limits, I think there's more specs and requirements inside town for a permit and to meet certain specifications. The state of Montana passed a state law that you had to follow certain specifications for building material, location of homes, but through the legislature, 4 years ago, but it's voluntary for the county. So the politics played into it. So I think there's 3 counties out of the 56 in Montana that have adopted the specification under that non-mandatory state law. I'll be right back.
That's the back part of this story. The fire area a few years ago. Struggle between state and federal authorities. And it got caught by Congress and modified here.
Yeah.
The state would use it and federal would use it.
Has that been changed?
Well, I know the state helicopters, the federal organizations like BIA and Tribe and the Forest Service won't use them because the bucket's too big.
Yeah. that was right.
And I think they wrote a letter to Zinke to overturn that, so it's on his desk. With the Blackhawks there, it's a continuing problem. It's one thing, it's another.
That rubs a lot of people wrong.
I know.
Healthcare is
I know.
the bed shuttling.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have problems. Some federal agencies like the BIA, they require special requirements to make sure that you're a safe driver. But the other agencies don't have it. But it gets to be a problem when people come in from other agencies to drive our fire engines, we can't use it. They have to meet our requirements. It's part of that continuing squabbles.
Do the tribes do any prescribed burns up here? I know sometimes in the year they're burning, what people call burning slash, but do they ever do any prescribed burns out in this land of the rest, or?
Yeah, I was on a field trip today with a journalist out of Missoula writing a story on the tribes burning, prescribed burning practices. And we were up here in Garden Creek, Mercer Gulch, and there. They've burned several thousand acres there in the last four years. But if you've been up there, take a look at that. The underbrush is a lot of thinned out, and it's more grass, and a lot of the brush has been replaced by grass. You know, they're putting a lot of money. Their fuels program spends over $1 million a year per stripe, and that's try to make forests safer, more healthy, more resilient to large fires. And they did a bunch of work right behind town here 10, 15 years ago, and it reduced the fire danger there for, you know, almost a mile west of town. So
And it still looks good
it'll
too.
help.
That's good too.
But it's time to start burning it again, to keep those fuels down. And that'll mean smoke, and that'll mean, you know, some fire danger. But you know, the people that are authorized to do the burning are highly trained professional people. But they can get swept up in some, you know, unforecasted winds, or they can make mistakes. I guess they're human. But I'll tell you, they're trying to do their best job to keep the forest up and to protect people.
One thing that I ran into, the issue with pets and evacuations, you can't bring a pet to a shelter. So you really have to, in Montana, we really love our dogs and the critters, and we get up into these draws and we have horses and stuff, but the horse trailer breaks, and so it's really, really critical that the emphasis on, because people won't evacuate if they have pets.
Yeah.
I used to work in the Red Cross, and we ran into that a lot. I mean, so literally you have to find places, usually it's the fairgrounds where you can store the animals and such, like, people really need to know where the horse trailers are, how to get your livestock out,
Yeah.
dogs, because remember, shelters will not take animals, so.
That's part of the preparedness.
Yeah.
You could call the local Red Cross tomorrow and find out what provisions they have for the community. I know that they have pretty
Yeah, Missoula's pretty up
good
on
ones.
it.
Missoula, the
Yeah.
Bitterroot,
Hamilton's pretty
Hamilton's
good.
very good.
Yeah.
But other communities, they don't have anything in place to take livestock. You know, it'd be something that you can find out where you go or what the options are. You should. Okay, I talked about folks, if you're part of this community that you want to look at work, say up in Flathead County, you can call Allie Evans with the DNRC. Does anybody have an interest with Flathead options, mitigation options? That small sliver of Flathead County up here. Okay, for Sanders County, that program is run by by Sanders County, and Bill Nagley is the OEM, the Office of Emergency Management person. He has the program for Sanders County, and his office number is 827-6955. And he's got a couple of foresters that work for him out of Plains. A fellow named Rick Carlson is a retired field specialist from the Forest Service. He does larger areas, like 10 or 20 acres, and but the cost, that real generous cost share is for 3 or 4 acres, and that's handled by through Bill Nagley as well. And then for the tribes, I didn't talk about the tribes much. They only get funding to treat tribal trust lands or allotted lands. And they can do fuels work, mitigation, at no cost, but it has to be associated with a timber sale or something like that. And the tribe has no options to help people private feedlands. But if you give CT Camel a call there, I think he'd be willing to send folks out to do the homeowner assessment, and he might be able to help you with other tribal or non-tribal options. But I think the best one you got going here is Nagley. I know that they have several $100,000 right now to do the work. I don't know how long it'll take them to work through the process, but they'll respond and come out and start with a good visit.
I got a question. Can I backburn into the fire? You know, start a fire, you go right into the fire so it burns itself out before it gets to my place.
You could do it.
Because my cabin's back in the woods.
Yeah.
And it's real susceptible.
Yeah.
And then sagebrush burn like crazy too.
Yeah. By law, they can ask you to leave your home. Unless you have children or handicapped or disabled relatives or something. The sheriff's department has some authority there. If you did a back burn, you may be liable if your back burn goes off of your land and burns your neighbors.
Yeah.
That would be the big consider.
We had this situation at Wyoming in a very rural area, and that one of the volunteer firemen decided he was going to start a back burn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he started the wrong place.
The trouble is, we started way on the other side of the development and it caught and turned the whole
Well,
development.
Took everything out.
Right, yeah.
Anybody else got any other questions?
Thanks a lot, very good.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming.
I really appreciate you.
At least there's a few concerned citizens in town.
Yeah. Well, the word will get out.
What do you mean, they paid you $15 for it?
I still say that not even one of the fire department was here.
Yeah.
How do you,
So I can call you at home and you can tell me, because you look straight up Jake's Road. That's the first road. You come to Oxford.
Well, she's my lady, up here on the rock.